Good morning, good morning, good morning. I finally broke the vacuum between life and the kayak. I'm actually at the boat ramp, getting ready to probably get the thing wet for the first time in a couple months. Come on, let's go for a paddle.
I think you're really cool. I like you a lot. Maybe we can hang out or something. Hey, I think you're really cool. I like you a lot. Maybe we can hang out or something.
Okay. There is so much involved in getting that thing off of there, rigged and ready to go splashing around. Well, there was another section I'd just put in there. I'd recorded and got a phone call in the middle of it. And I don't know if I'll splice it in here or not, but I wanted to walk down here and give you a view. You know, of course, the last couple of weekends I've come down here that I should have went, there was nothing going on. And this time, there's the concrete saw. I don't know, they're probably cutting expansion joints into the concrete they poured over there. But I did want to... Wow, they put in a lot more benches over here. And picnic tables. So, oh look. It is obviously low tide. What I don't know is if it's at the beginning or the end of low tide. Just that it's in some part of the cycle. Captain Obvious speaking. It's kind of odd to see that big boat out there. Let me see if I can zoom in. Yeah. Now the little sailboat that's out there with the dinghy tied to it, that's a Asian dude that works for Shell or the oyster factory. But that's a pretty big boat sitting out there, tied off out there in the channel. I don't know if I want to go this way and go to that sandbar, or if I want to go way out there around those trees. You see the gap in the trees. Hit the gap and take a left, and there's another sandbar, which is in actuality just like straight out from Palmetto Bluff, which is out there in the distance, that big shiny white thing. I don't know if that's a boat or what it is out there, but it's directly across behind those trees. Like straight behind those trees is another sandbar. That's a super long one. So I just don't know. And it is a little bit chilly out. But this is it's kind of old stairs going down to the water there. But this is the, let me zoom back out a little bit here. This is the old house that they refurbished that you can take tours on. They finished it and wouldn't let anybody in there for years. And again, there's the oyster factory. I think that's one of two in the country. I don't know. I read something about it, but it's and the shrimp boat right there. Kind of a popular place for people to throw their boats in the water. And it ought to get crazy here shortly. So I guess if I'm going to get going, I need to get going one way or the other. Kind of makes you wonder just looking at the side, that tree right there. I don't think this camera is giving you the true scope of just how big around that thing is. It would take 3 of me holding hands to actually reach all the way around that tree. And I mean, we'd overlap some, but 2 of us couldn't. We could not touch. Holding hands wrapped around the tree. That is a big old live oak tree. There's a little squirrel. He ain't scared. So anyhow, let me get this thing together and in the water. Well, of course I didn't have my recording device, aka iPhone, out. But right out there by those sailboats, I guess it was a dolphin, porpoise, whatever, was coming completely out of the water. Did it 5 or 6 times from the one most into the water to the one towards from, I don't know what's going to show up on the screen here, but it'd be from my right to my left. Inshore, completely coming out of the water. Its entire body coming up out of the water. Never saw that before. So, of course, as soon as I have something I can document it with, it stops. But that was kind of cool. Made me want to rush over there and say, hey, what's going on? But there he was. I don't know if it showed up. He did it again, or it did it again. So I'm imagining that it's probably doing that to stun bait fish. There must be a whole bunch of bait fish out there. The last time he did it, when I said there it was, it's right there at the point of land is where it happened. Let's see if I can zoom in over there a little bit. It was more like center screen. And the reason, you know, in addition to the fact that by the time I got over there, regardless, I'd be A, tired, B, too late, or C, just in time for him to decide that, hey, I want to jump in the boat with you. So He's a big critter, whatever he was. Geez, I hope it wouldn't be a shark. Because if it was a shark, that's a big ass shark. Well, obviously as soon as I put my iPhone away to protect it from being dropped in the water, it'll start doing it again. But definitely not when I'm out recording. Because, you know, that's how I roll. And it looks like it's tide coming in, because in the time it took me to quit screwing around and get the kayak rig down to the water, blah 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 blah, water is considerably higher, so leading me to the conclusion that it is an incoming tide. Which means for me to have caught anything, I should have been out here at least an hour prior. So there's that. Captain Abby and Mr. Timing. So here's a couple of things for both my viewers. I'm seriously considering moving that crossbar and getting the Ama and Akas for a Hobie, like a tandem island. Hopefully they're the same, whatever, the mango or whatever they call this color, they'll come to me. And put outriggers on the sucker and a motor. I think that it's the next evolutionary step of things that I don't need to be doing and make no sense. So oddly, I'm in. So, alright, well hey, that was a interesting little jaunt down nothing lane. Not too long ago, I might have even videotaped it. It was more than likely during the period of time where I was videotaping and had dozens of hours, minutes, seconds of footage, and just was like, nah, and just deleted it, never created a video out of it. But there was a sailboat that looked like it just broke its mooring and was aground in the salt marsh, and then all of a sudden one day it just wasn't there. I just came around the corner. This is me coming back towards it. I believe this is that sailboat, but it looks like the mast has been taken off. And it looks to be fairly well anchored. It's got a whole bunch of crab nets crab pots on it that look fairly new. And it's got a kayak tied up alongside of it. So I don't know if you can see it in the glare. I'm coming up on it. And this is just outside the channel, if you will, coming straight out of the oyster factory. It's the first estuary across May River on your right. Of any size. If you look at the map, there's across the May River from the oyster factory, just right across it, almost directly across it, there's a horseshoe shaped body of water, and then continue straight on out towards Palmetto Bluff. Just past that horseshoe shaped body of water is the Goodship Wu Wei. So, based on how it looks like it's anchored, or it's got something that's tied, and the fresh crab pots that are on it, I would have to say it's not abandoned. Maybe it's like a I don't know, like a working office or working location. They bring crab pots out and just store them there. There's probably 1, 2, 3, 4 floats. So it had to be 4 crab pots there. But I don't know if you can read the whole. It is the Wu Wei from Racine, Wisconsin. So who knows? Maybe it's a come around the side there, you'll see the kayak tied up alongside of it. So who knows, maybe somebody's living on it. Not my place to say one way or the other. Looks like there's boots in that milk crate, a couple pair. So who knows? I do have a weird vibe about it. So I'm just gonna pedal my happy ass away from it. So if anybody is looking for, or owns, or was wondering about the Goodship Wu Wei, there she sits. And this opening here, if you, well, I'll just show you. This is becoming quite the popular anchorage right here. That opening right over there is the one side of the horseshoe. That's the guy who lives on that boat right there. He lives on that sailboat. He works at the oyster factory. And then of course, the oyster factory is right there. So it's just right around the corner, up in the salt marsh. alternating between kind of breezy and then to the point where it's chilly and I'm underdressed and like this sucks, to the wind drops, flat calm, and it's like, wow, this is beautiful. And it is the Saturday before Easter, is what today is. And the tourists ought to be just a flocking into Hilton Head Bluffton. But that's Deer Island, I believe, is what that's called. And there's a cut through right over there that goes right under a little bridge that'll take you right around to Alljoy Boat Ramp. Palmetto Bluff is over here. Actually, it's like right here. And this is all part of Palmetto Bluff right here. But the actual marina is right here. And then the if you see those power poles way out there in the distance, that marks the cut across, and you can get in there, and there's another section of water that parallels May River. This is all part of May River, but it goes out that way and into the Atlantic. Dafuski's over there. And of course, Hilton Head Island proper, the lighthouse and everything, is just back over that way a little ways. So now that you've had your nickel tour, Southern Belle is that's a big old boat. I think I'm gonna go toss some bait or some soft plastics over here. This is the horseshoe I was talking about. There's one entrance there and the exit here, or vice versa. So it comes straight across. The May River goes this way, and comes straight across the May River. And the very first right is the whee. So, but I think I've caught a couple fish over here in this cutout, this horseshoe shaped, and what that is usually the locals cut through there because it's usually deeper. It gets really shallow through here, and you really have to hug the bank. But there's a couple of bump outs where there's oysters, and you kind of got to be careful. It's getting to the point where they can come ripping up through here with abandon, and so they shall, because that's how they roll. But I think I'm going to see if I can drown some plastics over here and see if there's anything going on. And if not, I think I'm going to pull the cork on this adventure and yank this sucker out of the water and get on about my rat killing, seeing what else I can do. Okay, well, that was an interesting, non-eventful day on the water. I know this isn't the most manly addition to a manly man fishing and kayaking channel, but would you look at those? They sure are beautiful while they're choking the tree to death. smell incredible too. We just about killed that pine tree right there.